Record. So welcome everyone. Thanks for bearing with us again. This is the Summer Associate 2017 Close of Service webinar. Should be pretty short and sweet. We don't anticipate going over much over an hour from now. So we just want to introduce ourselves. We're sharing a little computer here, so maybe I'll shift the webcam around or something. So my name is Erin. I'm the Vista Program Manager. Josh.
I'm Josh. I'm like the Associate Director for Campus Compact.
I'm Alyssa. I'm the Program Specialist.
Hey everyone, I'm the Exiting Vista Leader.
Last day.
I'm the incoming Vista Leader.
Hopefully no one got seasick for that experience. All right, so first of all, congratulations! Woohoo! You did it! Thank you so much for serving with us this summer. Hopefully you had a great service term and a valuable experience, and we'd love to hear a little bit about it. So I think that everyone has muted themselves, but if people wouldn't mind, we'd love to hear the service highlights, either a story from your service term, an impact you made within your, your camp kids or the beneficiaries you were working with. We'll just take a couple minutes to hear from you all, or whoever wants to share.
Hello.
No one?
I'll share. Can you hear me?
In the cafe.
Wait, there's someone trying to talk, but I can't hear them. Where's your volume?
Oh.
Oh, here, plug the headphones. Oh, that's good.
Hello.
Hi, now we can hear you.
Hi, okay. My name is Hannah, and I'm serving at the Lake County Boys and Girls Club. So, I guess some highlights of the summer have been teaching the different programs that I've been teaching with the kids and just being able to develop relationships with them and be someone who is consistent and positive in their lives and just spending time with them. And it's been an adventure. It's been really fun.
Great.
Thanks, Hannah.
Lauren, Madison, Emily.
Hello, this is Lauren. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was placed with the Billings YMCA Reading Loss Prevention. And yeah, for me, I think the greatest thing was just getting to know all the kids and kind of being like someone constant in their life, and kind of like providing some type of structure for them that they don't get at their like everyday home. I think that was the best part.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Lauren. Got a response from Rebecca. She says, I've been able to run a few summer camps at the Historical Museum in Fort Missoula these last few months. I've currently got some rowdy kids downstairs learning about historical clothing, which should be an absolute blast to learn about. One highlight would have to be our fourth 4th of July at the Fort event, where numerous vendors, musical guests, and historical activities took place on our grounds. Wow. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rebecca. Maybe one more person. There's 43 of you out there. Okay, we got McKenna. So this summer I built a medical equipment tracking system and inventory database alongside developing a durable medical equipment loan program.
Wow.
So thanks, McKenna. She was up at Kalispell, the Veterans Stand Down organization. All right, we'll move on. Thanks to those of you brave enough to share with us today. Let's see if I can transition. All right, so Josh, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'll give you control here.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. So one of the big kind of perks of AmeriCorps Vista service, summer associate service, is your education award, and you'll get this shortly after you officially complete service. It'll appear to you through your MyAmeriCorps portal, and we'll get into that a little bit, the specifics of that a little bit more here. But we thought we would walk you through kind of what the deal is with the AmeriCorps Ed Award. So sometimes this thing, its full name is the Eli Siegel AmeriCorps Education Award. It also gets shortened to AmeriCorps Education Award or just plain old Ed Award. It comes post-service, so it's important to remember if you have been checking your MyAmeriCorps account regularly and wondering where that thing is, it doesn't come until after you have completed your final day of service with us. And Aaron or Sam probably have communicated about some of the final reporting and that date. So you should have that. I believe August 1st, is that correct? I'm talking out of school here. August 1st for some people. Oh, last day of service?
Is July 30th and August 9th.
July 30th or August 9th. So some of you wrap up this weekend and some of you not for about a week and a couple days. So the education award is, there are different Ed Award amounts. For a summer associate term of service, that amount is $1,230. If you ever choose to do a full-time term of service, either a Vista term or a full-time term, that amount is pegged with the Pell Grant, and that is $5,731. So this thing is a voucher, which basically means it's a coupon that you can redeem for a couple things. Educational costs primarily, exclusively, I should say. It's good for 7 years after you get it, and it's held in trust by the federal government, which means there's a bank and there's an Ed Award with your name on it. And when you tell them you want to spend it, they'll cut a check and send it to either your loan holder or an institution. So it can be used for a handful of things. Current costs of attendance at qualifying institutions. So that a qualifying institution basically is somebody that can take Title IV money, and most educational institutions figure out some way to do this. So, you know, you can, everything from kind of cosmetology school through, you know, master's and PhD track sort of college are at your fingertips with the AmeriCorps Education Award. You can do a class at a time or use it toward a degree sort of program that you're working on. You really have a lot of flexibility. So that's the first use, current costs of attendance. The second is you can use it to pay back your qualifying student loan. So especially the loans that have been subsidized by the federal government. You can make either monthly payments and kind of buy yourself some time on paying down your loans, or you can tack your loan principal with it. So digging in and figuring out, okay, how is my debt structured and how do I want to use this education award is your responsibility. Loan principal kind of gets you more bang for your buck, but perhaps your priority is the payment. You've got flexibility there. You can also use it for things like international study, continuing ed, non-credit courses offered through institutions that take Title IV money. And then the final thing is that 13 of our compact institutions in Montana will match to some extent here. Questions up until now? Maybe I should check in with the chat real quick. Where are you, chat? More. No questions. Okay, well, if you have audio, feel free just to holler. Otherwise, I'll just keep plugging. So how do you use this thing? all of it happens through the MyAmeriCorps portal. This is a really important sort of system in the world of AmeriCorps, and it's something that we kind of privacy keeps us from dealing much with. So you log into that. This is the same place that you applied for your VISTA service when you built your AmeriCorps application. That's the same login that you use. And there's a whole Education Award interface in there. Making a payment through it, if you've ever made online payments, is pretty intuitive. There's a search feature to find the college or university or the loan holder you'd like to send funds to. You can type in the amount that you'd like to send. You know, double checking kind of that you've picked the right recipient, all of that, and amount, and then finalize. And a really important step in this is that you need to touch base and follow up with the folks that you're sending that money to. And you can speak with your financial aid officer or the student payments office if it's a larger institution, and they should let you know if those dollars have arrived. And I think keeping up with them, you also can track the status of payments through the MyAmeriCorps portal and see where it's at. It'll give you things like payment request received, payment pending, payment sent, payment received, those sorts of things. Ultimately, though, making sure that it arrives with the institution or the loan holder that you're trying to pay is the only fail-safe in this. So I would be in touch pretty intentionally with your institution or your loan holder as you're making a payment. What about taxes? This is the fun part here. Well, your education award is taxable in the year that you use it, and taxes are not withheld from this thing. So repeat that. Taxes are not withheld when you make a payment. So it is you to figure out what the implications of that are. Perhaps it's a year where you're basically a college student and you maybe have a student job and you're not earning a lot of money. Maybe there aren't huge tax implications, but these vary completely, and they're as unique as we are as individuals. So really digging into that and figuring out what's going to happen when I use this education award. Is important. Some thoughts about how to do that as affordably as possible. You know, the IRS makes a tax table available, and if you can kind of figure out your income for that tax year and what using the AmeriCorps Education Award is going to do to your base tax rate, that's one way. Also, consulting with a VITA tax volunteer is another. Oftentimes, there's a great volunteer program called the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, or VITA, and these folks help low-income, elderly, kind of anybody who needs help with taxes. So if you search for the VITA program in your community, you may be able to find somebody who volunteers with them who can offer some tax advice. And of course, there are professionals that you can pay to offer this, or perhaps your family has an accountant and you get to say, hey, look, I have an Ed Award and I want to make sure I'm not going to get hit with a big tax bill if I spend it. But there are taxes withheld is an important thing to remember, or there are not taxes withheld, and it is taxable in the year that you use it. Yeah. So with the $1,230 Ed Award, that's not huge. So my guess is, oftentimes this comes up with folks who do a full year of service, more so. And I think in the case of summer associate service, it's good to be aware of, but not something you have to completely freak out about. Some other resources: nationalservice.gov, and this link here, and we will share this PowerPoint with you all after the call. Has a good Ed Award resource page, as does Vista Campus. Vista Campus is the sort of one-stop training resource through the corporation that has all kinds of tips and tools. The FAFSA website, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid website, has a full list of the foreign institutions that accept Title IV. And are there other sort of resources in the world of Ed Award that you know of, you've heard of? All right. Sometimes talking to your peers and folks who have earned a past Ed Award is a good practice. You can get an idea of what it was like and what you actually had to do to use the thing. So where do I go with my questions about this? Nationalservice.gov has some good just general FAQs and tools. If you put Education Award information into the search box, it'll bring up a good list of stuff. That is the source. These things come from AmeriCorps, and those are that's the official word on using the AmeriCorps. The National Service Trust Hotline, and this is a good thing to both write down and remember that there's a telephone number that you can call to ask questions and figure out what's going on. That number is displayed here, 800-942-2677, is where you'll go with your questions. Privacy and kind of the rules around that keep us from doing much on your behalf where the Education Award is concerned. Really, it will be between you and the National Service Trust. If you have questions or concerns about where your Ed Award has gone, you will talk directly with the National Service Trust. If you're really just hitting a wall, we're more than happy to dive in and do what we can. But your best bet in kind of sorting this out is to go direct to the source, and that is the National Service Trust hotline. You also can email them, and there's a link here that where you can email questions as well. So I mentioned earlier that our Campus Compact network of institutions, of the 18 colleges, one of which is Fort Pat Community College here, 13 of them match the Education Award and are very excited to have AmeriCorps Vista alums come knocking on their doors and say, hey, I hear you guys match the Ed Award. So we'll talk a little bit about that. You can go to our website, mtcompact.org, and under the Awards and Scholarships tab, the second from the top is the Siegel AmeriCorps Ed Awards link, and that brings up information on these unique matches. So each campus has kind of a different story. Some places cap this, other places say we'll match forever. Typically, smaller institutions will put a cap of 3 or 4 matches, so it's good to kind of get in line early and make a case for why you are deserving of a match. If you're enrolling in MSU or University of Montana, there are quite a few matches available, and typically they don't exceed them. So the way this works is that you need to meet with the Campus Financial Aid Office and initiate this and say, look, I heard from Campus Compact that you all match the AmeriCorps Education Award. I want to put that into place. I'm anticipating a tuition bill in the fall. So that's not going to happen automatically. It does take some doing on your part, setting up a meeting, kind of making it clear what you're talking about, showing them our website, all these things. You know, we are a network of campuses and don't directly dictate how campuses use these resources. They've voluntarily said we will match AmeriCorps alums Ed Awards, and it does take a little bit of doing on your part. They're going to be excited to do it, but you do need to kind of set up a meeting and let them know what you're talking about. It will not just happen automatically. Questions on all of that? Folks can unmute themselves or type into the chat box. All right, sounds like you all got it. Feel free to send me an email or give me a call or any of our staff if you are if questions come up after we're off the webinar, and thank you again for serving with us.
Thanks, Josh. I think I just have one slide. All right. Let's see. So, gonna go over the exit process real quick with you all. For some of you, this is probably your last day, unless you've got some weekend events. And then for the majority of our members, you've got a couple more weeks, like Josh was mentioning. So all of you should have received an email from either myself or Alyssa to complete your what's called your future plans form, which is something in your AmeriCorps portal or account. So you should have received an email from both us and from that account, someone within the account, prompting you to complete that form. I have yet to receive some people's, and that really prompts the exit process. So it allows you to receive that education award or that cash stipend, whichever you elected towards the beginning of your service. So it's very important. We want that on record that you began a program and also that you completed a program. If you failed to complete that form, I don't think you're able to receive your education award. You're just kind of hovering in this AmeriCorps space and there's no record of you fully completing a term. So again, that's going to be vital for you to go ahead and complete that form. Again, that's in your portal. It should be just on your account prompting you to complete that. You also, everyone has a monthly report that's due today. This is your final report of 2 reports. So hopefully everyone will be able to get that in. If not, please talk to Sam or myself, really anyone in our office. You all received Carly's contact email, I believe, because Sam's last day is today. So again, that's important for us to document your work. Those numbers are important for us to be able to report back to the government and to show that we are, in fact, getting things done for America. And that allows us to apply for future funding as well. So please and thank you to complete that report on time. We also have an impact report, and our June start dates have not yet received that, but I'm going to be emailing you out probably on Monday to complete an impact report. Thank you to all of the May summer associates who completed that. I think I'm still waiting on a couple from you all, from the May folks. That's just really a narrative of how your service went, what kind of impacts you made, and sharing stories with us. Again, we love that information. We use it to promote our programming and to report on our programming. And importantly, to wrap up your service, to say your goodbyes, to tie up loose ends, and to travel home safely. All right, so I think, Sam, you're going to come and talk about AmeriCorps Alum Network. So I'll hand it over. Oh, whoops. Oh, this is an outdated one.
All right, hi guys. I am going to tell you about 3 AmeriCorps alum networks. They are Voices for National Service and then 2 Facebook pages. One is called Montana AmeriCorps Alums and Allies, and the other one is AmeriCorps Alums on Facebook. So the Voices for National Service is like a way professional website, and you can go on there and share your story of service and possibly win like recognition for the best shared story. You can go on there and get news about what's happening in national service, and specifically what's happening on Capitol Hill in DC around national service and policy. You can go on there and learn about how to take action and advocate for national service. They have a bunch of like advocacy toolkit options on a drop-down menu. And then also you can go on there and find out who in Congress and in the Senate serves on the National Service Caucus, and then you can directly contact them, or if you live in an area where your congressman or senator is not involved in the National Service Caucus, you can always suggest that they join it. And then lastly, you can become a member of Voices for National Service, and then they will update you consistently about everything that's happening national service in the United States. The Facebook page, Montana AmeriCorps Alums and Allies, is, I think, run by Shannon Stover. And have they met Shannon? Shannon's a great lady. She does a lot of facilitation around service and trainings in the state of Montana. Her page is great for staying current on what's happening in the news around national service, and also highlighting Montana-specific community projects. And the last thing that is cool about the Montana AmeriCorps Alums and Allies page is that she posts when there are awards and nominations for awards that come up for service people who are serving around the state. So that's liking that page is a good way to stay up to date on nominating a friend who you know who is in service or being nominated yourself. And then the last page, Facebook AmeriCorps alums, they post more about events that are happening around national service. So they have like big web graduations of service members and more articles that share like ideas about social movement, social betterment. So if you want to like a page that's kind of like giving you weekly updates on ideas for community development, that's a good one to follow, Facebook AmeriCorps alums. And that page has 22,749 members. So if you feel like connecting into a huge national service member audience, that is definitely the place to head. So once again, those are Voices for National Service. That's a website. And then the 2 Facebook pages, Shannon Stover's is Montana AmeriCorps alums and allies. And then the more general Facebook page is AmeriCorps alums. Any questions? Do I unmute this in case there are questions?
They can unmute themselves.
Oh, perfect. Okay, here's Sam.
You just scroll with this. Hello, everyone, and thank you for your service. It was a pleasure, like getting to speak with many of you, interview you, and wow, what a class! 43 members. That's pretty awesome for a state with only 1 million people. I think it says a lot about the service ethic here, since a lot of you were local. So I'm going to talk about how you can kind of translate the short 10 weeks you had onto a resume, and you might be surprised by how much you can kind of milk out of your service term. So, I mean, I'm kind of just going to read off the screen, but I'll add a little bit of jargon, then I'll read off my own resume where I've highlighted in yellow what I've written kind of to summarize my year-long service. It'll look a little bit different for you, but you might have been involved in some of the same kind of activities that I did. So one, definitely talk about the communities in which you served and the perspective on the disadvantaged populations and why it is that the services you provided were important, or how you engage those disadvantaged populations in your work. Focus on using action words. That's a pretty obvious one for any resume, but especially for AmeriCorps Vista, there's certain hot topic words that you can use, like develop or collaborate. A lot of you worked with other AmeriCorps Vista members in your term, and I think that's a valuable thing to kind of note on your resume, is that you did collaborative work with other national service members to accomplish blah. And so you want to clearly state the skills and responsibilities your service required. Use an outcomes orientation when describing daily responsibilities. So, for example, what came about because of your activities, not just delineating what you did. So, for example, coordinated with local farmers and State Department of Natural Resources to create conservation plans for farms. Where? In 5 rural communities. And what? Conservation plans that were in coordination with or collaboration with local farmers. So, making it known that you were a community member, you're not just doing these things in a vacuum. I think that really looks good on resumes too. And avoid using jargon that we've kind of expected you to understand this whole time. Would be MTCC, that it's better off to just spell these out. Most employers will know what AmeriCorps is, but do delineate that you were in AmeriCorps Vista. That does look different to some employers. And then obviously the BAD and other terms that you used at your service site that are just kind of like acronyms or abbreviations, I would suggest writing them out. And don't equate your service placement with a full-time placement as an employee. You are a national service member, and how I wrote it on here is, you may have had the job title of student coordinator or student mentor or something like that, or lead garden person. But you should be saying that first and foremost, AmeriCorps Vista, and then, or like an AmeriCorps Vista member is your title. And then you would place the organization in which you served, And then you go into a list of the activities that you did there. So for example, on my resume, I'll kind of just hold it up here. The first two that I have is an AmeriCorps Vista leader and then an AmeriCorps Vista member. And so those are my headers. I don't think that takes away at all from what you're going to be saying in the content of your activities. I think, and in fact, it might look good to put that AmeriCorps in there. And so one of the examples that I wrote as a Vista member was I was tasked with the creation and facilitation of staff training, workshops, and professional development sessions. You might say that one of them that you guys might say is interacted and engaged students beyond normal working hours to reflect and build trust in the community. Assisted in the design and implementation of student assessments congruent with the curriculum outcomes. So, you know, many of you may have had to do a lot of tracking, or you did with your reports. And then along with that, also assessments of how the programming went for your organization and that the outcomes of those students or those that are served through your work. That's important to note when you're saying, you know, maybe you did perform student assessments. And then finally, I was involved with just building the capacity, and you can use that terminology, or in direct service with, or directly affecting the change in kind of language. So examples, yeah, planned and ran activities, which many of you have done, supervised at-risk youth, and expanded the capabilities of your organization, which, you know, that is kind of like the innate part of AmeriCorps service. So any questions about using your resume? I have one more slide, just some quick like tips of ways in which AmeriCorps members really do or can place some pretty, like I said, collaboration is an important top 5 skills of an AmeriCorps. And these you can easily write into your resume. You gain accountability because you had to do reporting. You have adaptability because you may have served in a community not your own, or you had to tackle some unforeseens. Definitely interpersonal and intercultural communication, working with adults and parents alongside students, and then really taking initiative. I think AmeriCorps places us in a role where initiative is a huge aspect of our work, and so that looks really good on resumes too. So, one more comment on my resume. If you don't think you can fit as all of what you want to say about your service in underneath your position title, you can make an activities kind of column on the, you know, somewhere on the first or second page that had, you know, the title is activities, and you can name some things that you did more specifically in your service, such as I took a resource development class, I helped run MLK Day Read for Peace, and these are things I weren't able to say in my original body, but I added at the end in the activities column. Any questions? All right.
Okay, hi everybody. I am going to talk to you quickly about some future service opportunities, and Erin's actually gonna join me for this one as well. So if if whether or not this was your first service experience, if you really enjoyed yourself and service is something that you want to continue in your life, we definitely have more opportunities for you to serve with AmeriCorps, with Montana Campus Compact. So I'm going to talk about the AmeriCorps positions available, and then Erin's going to talk about some more VISTA opportunities down the road if you would like to be a VISTA again. So for those of you who are, great, thank you. For those of you who are still in college, you are eligible to be AmeriCorps members, and even if you have some college, or if you've graduated college, you can be an AmeriCorps leader. So our AmeriCorps opportunities, we have both year-long and and part-time service opportunities available. They are direct service positions, so that's a little bit different from the year-long VISTA positions that Erin will talk about. These positions are rooted in direct service, getting out into the community and really interfacing with the beneficiaries. We have positions across the state. I'll talk about the leader positions here first, and then the part-time member positions, but all of them will start on September 1st. So you would be serving K through 12 youth in normalizing college going, mentoring, and increasing student success and college access for students around the state. So working with really typically underrepresented groups of students, low-income students, first-generation aspiring college students, and making college something that is accessible to them. So I encourage you all to check out the positions that we have available. If you're interested in starting another service opportunity right away, you could get started as soon as September 1st. And we have, I think right now we have about 10 AmeriCorps leader positions that are open around the state. So they're full-time. All you need to apply is just some college, so you don't have to have finished your degree yet. And there's a wide range of positions available. If you are a current college student and you're interested in just some part-time opportunities, check out the website as well, this mtcompact.org/service opportunities, and you'll see the part-time service opportunities as well. Those are the member positions. It's 300 hours over the course of the academic year. So definitely doable with a school schedule, and you can still be involved in service, earn another Ed Award, and yeah, we would love to see some of you continue your service with us. I'm going to turn it over to Erin to talk about some VISTA opportunities, and thanks again everybody for your service this summer.
Thanks, Alyssa. Okay, so this actually, the same screen is where you're going to find AmeriCorps opportunities. You see the red arrow pointing to the service opportunities, and then that green arrow is where you click on the full-time and part-time service positions around the state, just what Alyssa was talking about. So I would love to make a plug for the Summer Associate Class of 2018. We will have one next year. If you want to serve in your same nonprofit or organization or position, you can. We'd love to have you back, and we'll have that posted next spring. So either we'll email, we have your emails, so we'll shoot you an email if you're interested. Also, definitely you could be proactive and let us know maybe where you'd like to serve, and we can try to connect with that organization to set up a VISTA position for the summer. We have positions available also for college graduates. So once you complete your degree, we have year-long full-time positions around the state of Montana. You serve primarily in the back end, so building capacity of an organization to better serve those living in poverty. Again, it's a year-long commitment. We offer in-person and webinar-based professional training opportunities throughout that year of service. So it's a great way to dig into a community, whether it's the one you're serving in now or a different one around Montana, and to gain professional skills and to build a greater network around the state of Montana. Any questions about either AmeriCorps or VISTA positions with Montana Campus Compact? We'll move on to the last slide, but feel free. Let me see if there are chats. No, okay. Okay, told you it was going to be short and sweet. So that's it. Thank you again for your service. Thank you from all of us at Montana Campus Compact for your service. We've heard nothing but positive feedback from your supervisors and host sites. It's been great watching those evaluations come in from your supervisors and those impact reports and those monthly reports that you all are sending in. They help us keep track of you all and your impacts. Please send us photos, especially with your compact shirt, so we can post those on our social media. We love to share your stories. And that's about it. We'll stay on the line if anyone has any questions, but thank you again, and we look forward to staying in touch.